Today, we delve into the shocking and tragic story of Michelle McNeill, a woman who was willing to do anything to preserve her family. Michelle was not only a loving mother to 8 children but also a successful winner of numerous beauty pageants. She always strived to maintain harmony and happiness in her home. But what happened on that fateful day when she didn't emerge from the bath? What events led to this tragedy, and how did it affect her family? On April the 11th, 2007, started like any ordinary day for Michelle McNeill, a mother of 8 children and a winner of numerous beauty pageants. Like many days before, it didn't hint at any misfortune. Michelle, recovering from a recent plastic surgery, decided to relax with a soothing bath. The house bustled with its usual morning chaos, children preparing for school, her husband, Martin, heading off to work. But on this day, something went wrong, and its consequences proved tragic for the entire family. Her husband, Martin McNeill, and the children couldn't reach her all morning. Around noon, Martin decided to check if everything was all right and drove home. Upon entering the house, he immediately sensed something was amiss. He rushed upstairs and found Michelle unconscious in the bathtub. Panicking, Martin dialed 911 and desperately shouted into the receiver, "Please come quickly. I found my wife in the bath. It looks like she's not breathing. I'm performing CPR right now." Paramedics arrived in less than 10 minutes. Michelle lay on the floor while Martin desperately attempted cardiopulmonary resuscitation. He exerted every effort to revive her, but tragically, it was too late. The medical team swiftly took over, but their efforts were unsuccessful. Michelle's death proved inevitable. Immediately upon the medics' arrival, the police were called to the scene. Law enforcement meticulously inspected the house, searching for any clues or traces that could shed light on what had happened. They carefully examined the bathroom where Michelle was found, as well as other areas of the house. Nothing suspicious was found, no signs of forced entry, struggle, or presence of unknown individuals. Everything suggested it was an unfortunate accident. Martin McNeill, still in shock from the events, was questioned by the police. He recounted finding his wife unconscious in the bath and immediately administering first aid. His account appeared entirely truthful and coherent. The police asked him numerous questions, trying to ascertain all the details of that day's events. Despite their thorough questioning, no evidence pointing to foul play was uncovered. Initial medical examinations did not reveal signs of violent death. Everything indicated that Michelle may have succumbed to complications following her recent plastic surgery. This explanation seemed plausible, given her recent medical history. However, something about this story unsettled some involved in the investigation. While everything initially pointed to an accident, there were those who doubted this version and believed that a deeper investigation should be conducted to rule out all possible scenarios. The autopsy of Michelle McNeill was expected to shed light on the cause of her sudden death. The pathologist, after a thorough examination, concluded that the cause of death was a heart attack. Initially, everything seemed fairly straightforward. There were no signs of violence or struggle on her body, with the only noticeable marks being from her recent plastic surgery. However, as details were scrutinized more closely, doubts began to arise. Michelle had been taking a combination of potent medications to aid in her recovery post-surgery. Among them were Phenergan, Keflex, Valium, and oxycodone. These medications are typically prescribed for pain relief, infection prevention, and anxiety management, each exerting a strong effect on the body. While the levels of each medication in her bloodstream were within acceptable limits, the combination raised concerns among some specialists. Pathologists and medical experts began to question whether this cocktail of potent medications could have triggered the heart attack. They understood that the combination of such drugs could significantly impact cardiac function and overall bodily function, especially in someone recently undergoing surgical intervention. Additionally, questions arose about who precisely was monitoring her intake of these medications and ensuring their proper dosage. Were all necessary precautions taken? Doubts emerged regarding how thoroughly all risks associated with this treatment were considered. Medical experts also started to analyze whether any of these medications might have potentiated the side effects of others. This was a crucial point that demanded further investigation. Initial doubts soon escalated into more serious suspicions. While initially Michelle's death appeared to be a tragic but natural outcome of the post-operative period, questions remained unanswered. These suspicions marked the beginning of a deeper investigation aimed at uncovering all possible causes and circumstances surrounding her death. To understand what happened to Michelle MacNeill, it's necessary to delve into her past and unravel all its mysterious elements. Michelle Summers, born in 1957 in California, was a true beauty from a young age. She always stood out among her peers and drew attention from those around her. In 1976, her life changed when she met Martin MacNeill. Their meeting quickly blossomed into love, and they soon became inseparable. However, despite their apparent harmony, their family life was far from ideal. Behind the glittering facade lay dark secrets and problems. Martin, who seemed initially like a successful and caring husband, actually had a dark past. He was a fraudster who falsified documents and engaged in various criminal schemes. His charm and charisma allowed him to easily gain people's trust, enabling him to conceal his illicit activities. Through his manipulative skills, Martin managed to penetrate the medical field and became an osteopathic physician. Despite lacking formal medical education, he adeptly created the illusion of competence and professionalism, which allowed him to continue his practices without suspicion from colleagues and patients. Martin appeared to be an ideal husband and father, but in reality, his life was filled with lies and deception. All this deceit and double life of Martin couldn't help but affect their family relationships. Gradually, Michelle began to notice inconsistencies and peculiarities in her husband's behavior. She started to realize that her life with Martin wasn't as simple and tranquil as it initially seemed. Suspicions and distrust grew, but Michelle continued to maintain the facade of the perfect family for the sake of her children and outward appearances. These hidden problems and secrets from the past became pivotal elements that later influenced the tragic events in Michelle MacNeill's life. Understanding who Martin truly was and his role in their family life helps uncover the depth and complexity of this dramatic story. In 2007, their marriage was going through tough times. The relationship between Michelle and Martin became increasingly tense and complicated. Michelle, hoping to save their marriage and restore harmony, agreed to undergo plastic surgery at her husband's insistence. Martin assured her that this would strengthen their relationship and revive their past passion. Hoping this step would indeed help, Michelle went ahead with the surgery. However, after the operation, her health began to deteriorate sharply. The recovery period proved more challenging than expected, and Michelle felt much worse. She grew weaker, constantly experiencing pain and discomfort. This physical stress exacerbated the already tense atmosphere in their family. Michelle increasingly began to suspect that her problems might not be coincidental. She even shared her concerns with one of her daughters, saying, "If anything happens to me, make sure it wasn't your father." These words sounded like a warning and deeply worried her daughter. Michelle started to suspect that Martin might be involved in her declining health and potential problems. These suspicions marked the beginning of the end of their relationship. The trust that once bound Michelle and Martin began to crumble. Their family was engulfed in an atmosphere of distrust and fear, adding more tension and stress to their daily lives. Michelle felt her life was in jeopardy and sought ways to protect herself and her children from possible danger. These events foreshadowed the tragic events that soon followed. The beginning of the end of their marriage was marked not only by Michelle's deteriorating health, but also by the destruction of her faith in her husband, ultimately leading to a fatal conclusion to their life together. After Michelle's death, her daughters, Rachel and Alexis, could not come to terms with the official version of events and began their own investigation. They felt that darker and more complex circumstances surrounded their mother's death. Delving into their father's life, they sought any clues and inconsistencies that could explain his strange behavior. During their investigation, they discovered that Martin led a double life and had numerous extramarital affairs. These revelations deeply shook the daughters, as they had always considered their father a model of family values. Particularly shocking was the fact that shortly after their mother's death, Martin brought his lover, Gypsy Willis, into the house, presenting her as a nanny. This fueled even more suspicion and anger from the daughters. Under pressure from his daughters, and the new facts that emerged, the police began to re-examine the case. It was revealed during the investigation that Martin had a fake education, and had never obtained an official medical diploma. Additionally, his numerous crimes and document falsifications came to light. These discoveries confirmed the daughters' suspicions that their father was far more dangerous than he initially seemed. After a long and thorough investigation, during which all details and evidence of Martin's criminal activities were uncovered, both he and Gypsy were arrested. They were charged with document forgery and a myriad of other schemes. This arrest was a significant step towards justice and exposing the dark side of Martin MacNeill's life. Michelle's daughters, Rachel and Alexis, played a crucial role in uncovering the truth about their father. Their determination and persistence helped expose his criminal actions and hold him accountable. This investigation demonstrated that truth always finds a way, and that justice can prevail even in the most complex and tangled cases. In 2013, a high-profile trial began against Martin MacNeill, accused of murdering his wife, Michelle. The case attracted significant attention from the public and media alike. Although there were only circumstantial evidence against Martin, such as suspicious circumstances surrounding Michelle's death and his dark past, it was enough to capture the jurors' attention and raise serious doubts about his innocence. The trial was lengthy and tense, each session drawing immense interest from spectators and journalists. Evidence and testimonies from witnesses, including Michelle's daughters Rachel and Alexis, played a crucial role in shaping the jurors' opinions. Their testimonies helped shed light on the dark secrets hidden behind Martin's outwardly affluent life. Ultimately, despite the lack of direct evidence, Martin MacNeill was found guilty. The court delivered a severe sentence, sentencing him to a long prison term. This verdict marked the culmination of years of seeking justice for Michelle and her family. Martin MacNeill's case became one of the most discussed in the United States, raising numerous questions about trust, love, and deceit. It underscored how far people can go for their own interests, and the consequences hidden secrets and deceits can have. This trial became an important precedent, reminding everyone of the importance of honesty and justice in both familial and societal relationships. The story of Michelle MacNeill is a tragedy that reminds us of the importance of being attentive to loved ones and not ignoring troubling signs. Often, such situations require special attention and prompt action. If you are facing violence or suspect that someone is in danger, it is important not to hesitate to seek help and support. Knowing that help is available and seeking it out is not a sign of weakness but a demonstration of caring for oneself and others. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Your likes and subscriptions help us create more fascinating and captivating stories. We appreciate your support and involvement. By subscribing to our channel, you'll be the first to know about new videos and won't miss out on any exciting stories. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more captivating and important stories. Your feedback is invaluable to us, so feel free to leave comments and share your thoughts. Until next time.